Hey up, it's that old Yorkshire geek here, back again with my daily live stream of geeky news and all that stuff. Right, so what we got today? Hang on then, I'll have to make myself small, won't I? Because I'm a tiny person. Here we go, Ziz. Right, we've got a bit of news today, but mostly, as you can see, I've got my Star Trek cap on again, because I'm going to be looking at some Star Trek Starships a bit later. That's why I've got my Star Trek t-shirt. Although it's a Shark Trek. This was a gift, and it's a cool t-shirt, and I like it. Where were we? Right, let's get us winded up. Right, first up, hang on, let's get it on my other screen as well. There we go. I can see what I'm doing now. Right, Kevin Feige's main focus is MCU story in Phase 4. You'd have thought they'd work this out by now, wouldn't you? Seeing as we're into Phase 4 already. I thought the story was the multiverse, but obviously not. Chief Creative Officer and Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige's primary focus is developing the Marvel Cinematic Universe's larger story in Phase 4. Marvel, and there's a picture of all the heroes, and obviously some of them are no longer with us. Have they? I don't know. Who we got in there? No, they still are, aren't they? They still are. Although Captain America's not around anymore, but I can't see an Iron Man, can you? Anyway, unless they're bringing Captain America back, maybe they are. Right, Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige's primary focus is developing the Marvel Cinematic Universe's story in Phase 4. With 26 films over 14 years, Marvel Studios has created an interwoven cinematic universe comparable to that which was conceived in the panels of Marvel Comics. Avengers Endgame serves as the culmination of the MCU's third phase, catapulting it into a fourth phase and a very ambitious multiverse concept. Comic book enthusiast Feige has been working on Marvel films since the beginning of the 21st century, not long after he helped to produce films including Fox's X-Men 2000 and Sony's Spider-Man trilogy. Feige realised that Marvel still owned the rights to the Avengers. Therefore, he devised a plan to create a shared universe and was named President of Production for the independent studio in 2007, before Disney bought Marvel Entertainment in 2009. Feige has produced every film for Marvel Studios since Iron Man and the birth of the MCU in 2008. I'm going to burp. I've got no pop today either, but I still feel like burping. Because I'm drinking coffee in my Mercury Rapids mug. Let's have a slurp. Which, speaking of Mercury Rapids, still available from Amazon, or there's a Kindle version available at a fraction of the cost of the paperback, which because it's a big thick tome, so it's not cheap. But it's not super expensive either, it's affordable. But the Kindle version, will save you some pennies. But not people. Some people don't like Kindle, do they? Anyway, there you go. So there it is. Mercury Rapids. Don't know who that fella is. Could be me. Maybe it is. Anyway, where were we? I forgot where I was. Right. Feige has produced every film for Marvel Studios. I've read that. I'll read it again. Since Iron Man and the birth of the MCU in 2008. In 2019, the president of Marvel Studios was also named Chief Creative Officer. I'm yawning, I just had a drink of coffee, I'm yawning. I must find Marvel boring. I don't though. Chief Creative Officer for Marvel Comics, Marvel Television and Marvel Animation. It's not like it used to be though, is it? Since Endgame, Endgame's sort of like the last half of Endgame, started the slide, didn't it? But up to then, apart from Captain Marvel, which, I tried watching again recently and I didn't get very far. I couldn't watch it, I don't know why. I can't watch it. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it. Anyway, in an interview with the VFX Notes podcast, Eternal's VFX production supervisor Stefan Serretti, hope I'm pronouncing that properly, explained Feige's primary focus is the MCU's ever-expanding story. He can no longer be as involved with individual projects and day-to-day operations of Marvel Studios as he once was. For example, visual effects is now overseen by Victoria Alonso, president of Physical, post-production, VFX and animation at Marvel Studios. Read the full quote below. Yeah, her name pops up on just about everything to do with Marvel now. Ooh, where are you going? It's a lot of people now, but how it is, it's fun and crazy at the same time. It's super exciting because we are really part of the process. Like really, really part of the process. It's a bit different now because the studio is bigger and maybe we have a little bit less. Oh, I can't get to y'all again. Can't get what's up with me. It's just, Ooh, I do apologise. What's the matter with me? Where were we? It's a bit different now because the studio is bigger and maybe we have a little bit less access to the people we used to have access to all the time. Alonso is always there, so she's always in the meetings, all the readings we're doing. Feige, a little bit less so now because he's so busy with story and everything. But he used to come to every VFX reading with us, which was great, like really great. Right, there he is with Tom Holland. Given Feige's litany of responsibilities and his permeating presence on press tours and at premieres, it's only natural he'd become less involved in various operations. However, there's no overstating what Feige has created. Sebastian Stan has said that Feige doesn't get enough credit for being the MCU's mastermind, while X-Men producer Simon Kinberg once called Feige the greatest producer ever. Many could, and probably have, made the argument that Feige almost single-handedly ushered in the contemporary age of comic book movies. I don't know about that. Now, as Warner Brothers / DC Films attempt to haphazardly embrace the new multiversal age, Feige has asserted that the MCU's multiverse has always been a part of the plan, following Disney Plus's WandaVision, Loki, and What If. Spider-Man No Way Home broke open the multiverse, bringing back beloved web-slingers from Sony's past. Since Iron Man, Disney Marvel Studios has acquired Fox's characters and those that Netflix once owned. At this point, pretty much every Marvel character outside of Spider-Man and company is under the control of Marvel Studios and Hulk. I think Hulk is still a universal thing, isn't it? I think. The upcoming sequel, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, should capitalise on cockily on again. Ooh, good heavens above, I do apologise. And you slap my face, bring myself round. Ooh, the upcoming sequel, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, should capitalise on the success of No Way Home and bring even more characters into the MCU. But they put it in big bold letters. On top of that, 30 other projects are in development at Marvel Studios. And Feige, of course, is even slated to produce a Star Wars film. Yeah, he is. Forgot about that. Is that it? Yeah, that's it for that one. So, yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Some people have said... I say I don't know. I'm not an expert on this sort of stuff. But the early part of the MCU, maybe up to nearly the end, I don't know. I can't remember. But there were other people. There was somebody else that helped with the story. But then when Kevin Feige was like put in full charge, Kevin Feige wasn't, completely in command, as it were. The book didn't stop with him. There was somebody above him. But then he was put basically in charge, and it kind of went downhill after that. I mean, he was the one that championed Captain Marvel and all this. Basically, they call it the MCU. He's championed the MCU, hasn't he? So, anyway... We'll see what appertains, how it goes with the multiverse. And let's see if if the films are as good as phases 1 to 3. But I doubt it. Very much. I don't think they'll have the same impact. Because I know that the characters in phases 1 to 3, they weren't really until Spider-Man arrived. And maybe the Hulk. But they weren't, really, top tier Marvel characters, were they? I mean, like Iron Man and Captain America. They weren't really top tier characters, were they? Not like Spider-Man and Hulk and what else? What else has there been? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, next up, Star Wars. Star Wars' Disney Plus series may be building to their own heir to the empire. From The Mandalorian to Boba Fett, the Disney Plus Star Wars shows are a huge hit, but is it possible they're setting up a classic legend storyline? The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett were just the first of many Star Wars shows coming to Disney+. While fans have been greatly enjoying the storylines thus far, for the most part, some are wondering if Star Wars is trying to bring back the classic story Heir to the Empire in its new canon. The story was one of the best tales in the now Legends canon of Star Wars. It took place after the fall of the Empire. Oh, pardon me. I'm having a right night, aren't I? And introduced people to the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn. With some of the recent developments in The Mandalorian and upcoming shows, fans hope that this is the path that Star Wars is headed down. Heir to the Empire was published in 1991 and was written by Timothy Zahn. The story began 5 years after the fall of the Empire, much like The Mandalorian, and featured Luke, Leia and Han, with Luke leading the New Jedi Order and Han and Leia leading the New Republic against the rising tide of Imperial remnants. It was an amazing continuation from the original trilogy. The book introduced some fantastic characters and extremely intriguing plot points. It became a best-selling book and a beloved piece of Star Wars literature. Fans of the series would be ecstatic if parts of it were being adapted into the plot of the Disney Plus shows of that same era. Heir to the Empire takes place not long after Return of the Jedi, as we just said, it's five years. The story features some incredible elements that would certainly please many Star Wars fans. Grand Admiral Thrawn is gathering the remnants of the Empire in the far reaches of the galaxy. At his side is his faithful sidekick Rook, who was in Star Wars Rebels, who I believe were played by, voiced by Warwick Davis, I do believe. And a mad clone of a Jedi Master named Joruus C'baoth. I don't know, it's literature, so, we haven't heard it said, I suppose. Well, unless you've got the audio book, which I haven't. He also has access to a vault of the Emperor's most terrible weapons. Everything kicks off when Luke Skywalker is captured by a group of smugglers. As he escapes from them, he is chased by Mara Jade, current smuggler and former right hand of the Emperor. At first she wants to kill Luke for the Emperor's death, but she realises that her survival depends on him. Then Thrawn shows up and attempts to capture Luke too. Smugglers beat back the Imperials and Han Solo discovers where some of Thrawn's operations are taking place. When Joruus finds out that Leia is going to have twin children, he decides that he will train them in the Force and leave Thrawn behind. Who's Joruus? Joruus C'baoth. Tell you, I wasn't paying attention. I've got these books and I've never read them. I do that. I buy books and I forget I've got them and I don't read them. They're over there on my bookshelf behind me. But unfortunately, due to his isolation and madness, he ends up training the children in the ways of the dark side. Because of who her twins may be, Leia is hunted across the galaxy. A species called the Nogri hunt her until one of them is captured. Leia finds out that they used to serve the Sith and decides to travel to their home world. As Thrawn throws his first of many attacks at the New Republic, he is beaten back and suffers his first major defeat. The story continues to spread out of a few different books. The New Republic faces massive threats from Thrawn and his fleet. Mara Jade works as a spy but eventually joins the New Republic and reveals the location of Thrawn's base. Leia has her children Luke and Mara battle C'baoth on Mount Tantis, and a clone of Luke Skywalker is revealed and Thrawn is killed by his own bodyguard. Right, how Heir to the Empire could be adapted into the current Star Wars universe. Many elements of this story are already in play in the Disney Plus shows. The time frame is right. Thrawn is known to be hiding in the far reaches of space. The Imperial remnants are gathering strength and they are trying to make Force-sensitive clones. Even more than that, Mount Tantis, the place of the final conflict in Heir to the Empire, is mentioned and seen in The Bad Batch. Oh yeah, won't it? The pieces have all been laid out for the shows to create their own version of this iconic story. Ahsoka Tano or Ezra Bridger could take the place of Luke Skywalker. Both characters have a long history with Thrawn and would be familiar with his tactics. Din Djarin and the other Mandalorians of the shows could act as the people that the Imperials are attacking instead of the New Republic. Thrawn could see the rise of Mandalore as a threat to his plans and decides that they are currently a bigger threat than the New Republic, especially since Grogu is a Mandalorian foundling. This would draw most of the main members of the show into the conflict. If Thrawn is seeking Grogu in order to create Snoke, or even restore the Emperor's power, then it would make sense that Din would be deeply involved in the conflict. Alongside Ahsoka, the two could form a strategy to take down Thrawn. It's possible that with de-aging technology, Luke could be brought into the battle and meet Mara Jade, but it seems unlikely. The Ahsoka series could introduce C'baoth as she searches for Ezra and Thrawn, allowing him to play a similar role in Mount Tantis. While it wouldn't be a perfect adaptation, it would certainly be able to include most of the core elements of the story, simply with different characters. This would help to satisfy long-time Star Wars fans and encourage new ones to explore some great Star Wars books. Well, yeah, as long as they do it right, they don't make a mess of it, because, they could do. It's not unheard of. Ooh, crikey. Excuse me. Thrawn is undoubtedly the major villain of the Disney Plus era of Star Wars. He hasn't shown up yet in the live action, has he? He has the potential to be dangerous and intimidating, and even have some fans empathise with him and his goals. His presence in live action can dominate the screen, and it's what many fans have been hoping for since 1991. His conflict can help to establish a new era for Star Wars, and it could even help to clarify some of the more confusing points regarding the Emperor from the sequels. Finding a way to adapt Heir to the Empire is a fantastic way to pay homage to Star Wars history while still forging ahead with new stories. Din Djarin, Ahsoka Tano, and even Bo-Katan can also easily slide into roles in the Heir to the Empire story. They can help take the place of some characters while still maintaining what makes that story so incredible. Seeing it brought to live action would be awe-inspiring experience that could help cement the Disney Plus era of Star Wars as some of the best storytelling of the franchise. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, very good. Well, we'll see. Yeah, if they do it right, it'll work. I mean, I've seen somewhere that, I forgot his name, Mads Mikkelsen's brother, is it Lars Mikkelsen? Might be, can't remember. Anyway, he did the voice of Thrawn, I think, in Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, and I've read somewhere that he's been cast as the live-action Thrawn, so I don't know what he looks like, so he must look a bit like him, but he'll be painted blue and give him red eyes or in the black hair. I should imagine. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. That's what I always say, don't I? We'll see what happens, which, that's all we can do, isn't it, in the long run. But hopefully they won't make a mullock of it, as they say. But I bet they do. It'll be all right, but there'll still be a lot of things where we're going, oh, for God's sake, what have they done that for? They will, because they always do. They always do. Right, we're sticking with Star Wars. Attack of the Clones deleted scenes improved Anakin and Padme's romance. By the way, this is from CBR.com. I don't know what CBR stands for. Comic Book Republic? I don't know. Don't say, does it? Yes, and as usual, all the links are in the description box below. So don't forget to, go there if you want to follow the links. And while you're there, like and subscribe and share the videos and use the notification bell so you'll be informed when I do stuff, if you're that interested. If you're not, fair enough. And also, don't forget to drop a comment in the comments, or if you're here with the live chat, drop me a line. There's a message there already, but I think I don't know what it means. Somebody called Scott Pino just said something like PINOVUM today. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but it says I've no viewers, so it could be a bit of spam, or whatever they call it. Anyway, back to this one. Attack of the Clones deleted scenes improved Anakin and Padme's romance. And I've seen this. I think it's on the DVD special features, not even the Blu-ray. It might even be a Blu-ray, but I'm sure I saw it on the DVD special features. Star Wars Attack of the Clones is known for its wooden romance between Anakin and Padme, yet the deleted scenes make it much more believable. Probably why I took it out. He's talking there about how he hates sand. being creepy. In Star Wars Attack of the Clones, the romance between Anakin and Padme stands out as the weakest aspect of the film. Those who greatly enjoy the prequels will still point out the wooden dialogue and unbelievable romance the two share. I've just murdered loads of Sam people, Tusken Raiders, whatever you call them. You know, even the women and children. Oh, and then she don't care. She goes and hugs him because she loves him, even though he's a murderer and a psycho. I know his mother had died, but you know, bloody hell. Anyway, however, while many fans would hate the idea of even more romance, the deleted scenes for the movie greatly improve their relationship and make it feel much more natural. The scenes of Anakin and Padme's romantic life are quite short compared to the rest of the film, yet their stale and cringeworthy dialogue make them feel way longer. Oh, the scenes make them feel way longer here. After Anakin obsesses over Padme, he keeps expressing his feelings until he shares the same. I'll just adjust me earrings. I've got earrings in both ears. People say, are you gay? Because I've got earrings in both ears, but I've had them since I was like, I don't know, 18, something like that, 16 maybe, I can't remember. And my plan was, I got 2 done, so I'm changing subject now, but I got both my ears pierced, and then I was going to go back and have loads more done, you know, when I was young, and I never got round to it. So people just think I'm gay because I've got both ears pierced. I'm not. Well, I don't think I am. Anyway, where were we? After Anakin obsesses over Padme, he keeps expressing his feelings until he shares the same. The two eventually fall in love, and after their capture and escape from the planet Geonosis, they get married in secret on Padme's home planet of Naboo. The small planet of Naboo. I've never understood that. I said that it crawled, didn't it, at the beginning of Phantom Menace. The small planet of Naboo. Does that mean it's physically small, or does it mean it's just not important in the Republic, you know? But it must be important because it sparks the bloody Clone Wars, doesn't it? Cracker. Well, eventually. The jump from them meeting for the first time in years to their eventual secret marriage is quite jarring, and this is because a huge amount of their scenes were cut from the theatrical release. The vast majority of Episode 2's deleted scenes are from their stay on Naboo, as they spend time together with Padme's family, who were completely cut from the film. There's a photo, pardon me, of them. I hope he's not making hot food float about like he did with them two. God, that was horrible, that one. And it looked awful, didn't it, when she took a bite out of the floating apple or whatever the hell it was, pear. Anyway, it was 2002, you know, a long time ago. While still corny, Anakin and the family sit around the dinner table and get to know each other. Padme's mother and sister ask if they're together and go on to constantly tease her, saying they should be a couple. While the scenes feel like they're taken right out of a teen drama, they provide a more gradual change in mindset for Padme as she slowly realises she's falling for him and that her family's rooting for it. I bet George Lucas didn't write this scene. He had somebody to help him, didn't he? I forgot his name, Jonathan somebody or other. I bet he wrote this, so that's why it was cut. I'm not saying George, you know, he's an ego or all like that, but, you know, he has. What makes the deleted scenes all the more interesting is Anakin's relationship with her parents. Padme's mother is just happy to see them together, whereas the father catches on to Anakin being her bodyguard. He questions if his daughter is in danger, and Anakin explains the attempts on her life, saying that he won't let anything happen to her. A large aspect of Anakin's downfall is his inability to let go of those he loves. Being told he's the chosen one, Anakin has a determination to keep everyone safe, and he doesn't understand when he's not powerful enough to save those closest to him. While subtle, these scenes plant the seeds of his flaws as he makes a point to say he'll keep Padme safe no matter what. While the deleted scenes would definitely slow down the pace and hold the same quality of dialogue as the rest of the movie, they do make the relationship grow at a more believable rate. Plus, it's surprising that the entirety of Padme's family was cut, as they helped provide Anakin with the sense of home and family he never had. One more thing, tempting him away from the life of a Jedi. And there you go. Oh yeah, I've seen it in it's on the DVDs and the Blu-rays, and I can't, I don't blame her for taking it out, to be honest. because it wasn't up to much. But I'm one of these people that actually like Attack of the Clones. It's possible it could be actually my favourite of the prequel trilogy. People say they didn't like it, but I quite enjoyed Attack of the Clones. I thought it were good. Obviously, you know, but them two, I'm pointing to them on screen there. Them, where are you? Where's me thing? There we go. Them two there, they brought it down. That part with them in it, you know, when he's dancing on that, riding on that bloody flea cow. That was awful, one. It was awful. And then she sat in that, like a bustier thing. I don't know. And George, what are you playing at? What are you playing? I'm a senator, and you're a Jedi. But she's all spilling out of this skimpy skimpy outfit. George, you're a dirty old man. Anyway, right, so that's enough of that. Right, bit of Batman news. Right, The Batman. When and where to watch online. It looks like The Batman is coming to streaming sooner rather than later. Good, because I won't be able to get to see her pictures. After years of anticipation, The Batman is finally here. Originally, fans hoped to catch Robert Pattinson's turn as the Dark Knight and his alter ego, the orphaned billionaire Bruce Wayne, on June 25th, 2021, when COVID-19 disrupted director Matt Reeves' shooting schedule, Warner Brothers set a new release date for October 1st, 2021. That too needed adjusting, but no more. The film finally hit theatres on March 4th, 2022. But there's still one release date some Bat fans long to know. When will The Batman be available on streaming platforms? In years past, that question would have been ridiculous. After all, movies wouldn't even come to Blu-ray until months after the film's theatrical run ended, and it would take several more months for the movie to show up on Amazon Prime or Netflix. Don't know the born today. When I were younger, it was like years before they arrived on VHS, and then even longer before they were on TV. Anyway, but in a twist worthy of Catwoman's switch from antagonist cat burglar to Batman's main squeeze, the release date shuffle has turned out to be a good thing for people who like to take in blockbusters from the comfort of their own homes. Many studios have taken to releasing some movies to streaming platforms on the same day as their theatrical release, as we saw with the Disney Pixar movie Soul debuting on Disney+, and the latest Michael Myers film Halloween Kills premiering on Peacock. Just make sure we're still going. Yeah. But none have been as ambitious as Warner Brothers, who added all its 2021 films to HBO Max on the same day as their theatrical debut. Silly sods. Film fanatics didn't have to wait before they could watch even franchise hits like Dune and The Suicide Squad at home. For that reason, many hope that they can head to HBO Max on March 4th, well, not now, because it's March 6th now, and enjoy The Batman on their own TV. Sadly, that won't be the case. Warner Brothers has chosen not to continue day-and-date releases on HBO Max. Well, and that's good, because I was just reading somewhere, I think it was Valiant Renegade, I just saw his headline on one of his videos, The Batman has made $250 million in its opening weekend, which is pretty good, isn't it? Which is pretty good. That said, they shouldn't have to wait long before Pattinson's Batman steps out of the shadows and into subscribers' living rooms. In a December 2021 interview with the podcast Recode Media, HBO CEO Jason Kylar, dropped some hints, about the movie's appearance on HBO Max, according to, I don't know how to pronounce these names, Kylar of the Lambda Zone. Warner Brothers plans to add The Batman to the streaming service 46 days after its theatrical release. By that time, we should be able to stream The Batman on HBO Max on April 19th, 2022. Now, just to be clear, Heir didn't use that specific date. He just said that the 46-day delay will be the new normal for HBO Max releases. But it doesn't take a mind like the Riddler to figure out that home viewers can enjoy the movie sooner rather than later. Even better, Heir reminded listeners that other Warner Brothers movies will be following suit, including the upcoming DC EU entries, Black Adam and The Flash. So now that fans know the Bat Time and the Bat Channel, when they can stream The Batman, what should they do while they wait? They should keep building the anticipation by checking out our glowing review of the film. And there it is. If you want to follow it, follow the link. In the comments below, in the description, follow the link and it's in there. But I've not seen it, so I don't know. But it's getting good reviews. But a lot of people seem to be saying the first half of the film is really, really good, like 10 out of 10 good. And then after that, it's sort of like... it goes down, it's like a 5 out of 10 after that. That's what I've read, but I don't know because I've not seen it. So there we go. Middle of April, it should be on streaming and elsewhere. My heart is. Doctor Who, Russell T Davies alone can't fix the BBC's biggest Doctor Who problem. Russell T Davies is returning to Doctor Who, but the circumstances of his return point to a bigger problem with the show, one the BBC must fix. And there's Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies is returning to Doctor Who, but even he can't fix the BBC's biggest problem with the long-running science fiction TV series. What, that it's crap now? Current Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall and 13th Doctor Jodie Whittaker seem to have been something of a package deal. Signed up for 3 seasons and a number of specials, while the next Doctor's identity is still a mystery somebody knows somewhere. The next showrunner will be Russell T Davies himself, mastermind of the 2005 revival. Davies will face a difficult challenge. Sorry, I was just checking, making sure you could see it on your screen, and you can. Davies will face a difficult challenge. The BBC seems to have come close to cancelling Doctor Who, with executive producer Matt Stevens admitting the production team was unsure of the show's future. He only found out about Davies's return the day before it was announced, and sounds to have breathed a sigh of relief. My utter relief was we didn't break it, and Jodie gets to regenerate. They have broken it. He observed in a self-deprecating style at the Gallifrey 1 fan convention. Stevens' comments tie into a general sense of pessimism and concern in the fan base right now because the Chibnall era has proved divisive, not divisive, divisive, and ratings haven't been great. But I know you don't say divid, do you? You say divide, don't you? So whatever. Divisive. Ratings haven't been great. The return of Russell T Davies has left many fans delighted, in large part because he seems to have a strong vision for the show's future. But Davies's return alone isn't enough to fix the BBC's biggest problem with Doctor Who, because the biggest issue lies in the very way the BBC handle the series. Look at face, God, it's punchable. This is actually at least the second time the BBC has considered cancelling Doctor Who since it was relaunched in 2005. Sorry, because I'm not in top form today. You've seen me yawning and stuff. I think I'm a bit under the weather today, and I'm tired and stuff. And seeing his face on the screen, just want to. He's got one of them fizzogs, hasn't he? This is actually at least the second time the BBC has considered cancelling Doctor Who since it was relaunched in 2005. Ironically, the first time was when Davies himself departed alongside 10th Doctor David Tennant, with BBC execs feeling Davies's vision and Tennant's performance were irreplaceable. Oh, full stop. The BBC's approach to Doctor Who emphasises the importance of a showrunner's singular vision and voice, with the public service broadcaster wary of slipping into making the series by committee. While this undoubtedly leads to remarkably well-defined eras of Doctor Who, modern Who is basically defined by its showrunners rather than the Doctors, as per the classic series. It means changeovers are perilous times. I don't know, I mean, some of the classic Doctor Who's, the word sort of like went around the producers, like the don't ask, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm gonna his name it popped up in my head, and Oh, never mind. Anyway, I forgot where I was. Right, this is the greatest issue with Doctor Who. The departure, Nathan Turner, like he was an important producer, wasn't he, in the annals of classic Who, for good or bad. That's just a name that just popped in my head. This is the greatest issue with Doctor Who. The departure of a showrunner is automatically a time of risk where the future is uncertain and insecure. Davis is returning with a strong vision for Doctor Who's future, but that vision will never be secure so long as the BBC fail to plan ahead. The BBC always knew Chibnall was going to leave after 3 seasons, and yet they seem to have only begun looking for a replacement quite late in the day. That kind of lapse is unforgivable and suggests the BBC is far too short-termist when it comes to planning Doctor Who. I think the new Doctor Who, the new Doctor, has been chosen. They're just not telling us. I think Russell T Davies knows who he wants. And I think it'll be divisive. It'll cause a divid in the community. I think it will. But as long as the stories are good, it don't matter whether the Doctor is, male, female, black, white, Muslim, not Muslim, but you know what I mean. I'm digging a hole for myself here, aren't I? But anyway, straight, gay, whatever. Sorry, LGBTQ plus minus / exclamation mark. I'm in a mood. Rather than appoint a new showrunner in the nick of time, they should instead spend the next few years planning for beyond Davis, figuring out its potential successors and approaching them. No chance. This more than anything else would secure the long-term future of Doctor Who, because it would be an approach that lessens the tension at points of marked change. The next showrunner could spend years refining their vision, watching their predecessor and seeing what works and what doesn't, allowing them to hit the ground running and work on their next season straight away. With such an approach, Doctor Who need never be in fear of cancellation again. It will be. But we'll see how it goes. As I said, I think... Oh, get away, you. I think he's decided who his next Doctor's going to be. And I think he's going to make the Doctor gay. I do. I think it'll happen. But as long as the stories are good, I don't care. As long as the stories are good. That's all that matters in the long run. And they're well made. And they haven't got a message, a blatant message. They can be, like fables. They've always been like fable-like, haven't they? Science fiction stories. But they shouldn't have, an overt message. That's what they shouldn't have. There should be good stories, well told. And he's good at that, so hopefully it'll work. Anyway, right, next. Picard Season 2 Star Trek Q villain John Delancey teases altercation with Whoopi Goldberg's Guinan in upcoming episodes. There's a video there. We'll watch that after we've read this. Picard star John Delancey, who returns as Star Trek villain Q, he's not a villain. He's an antagonist / thorn in the side for Picard, isn't he? And Janeway in Voyager. And for one episode, Cisco in Deep Space Nine. When Cisco punched him. You hit me! Picard that never hit me. I'm not Picard. You're easier to provoke or something like that. Anyway, has hinted that his character and Whoopi Goldberg's Guinan could have a tense face-to-face meeting on the cards. Like I said, in the first episode, I thought that when Picard went to see Guinan, I said, why was that meeting there? It was pointless. But if she's going to return later on and come face to face with Q, then fair enough. It was setting up that she's around. She didn't just appear magically when needed. So fair enough. This week, the release date for the second season of the sci-fi show arrived on Amazon Prime Video, with Sir Patrick Stewart embarking on a time-travelling adventure as the seemingly retired Jean-Luc Picard. As well as reuniting with his crew, the former Starfleet Admiral also crosses paths with familiar faces from his past, including the villainous Q, who has the ability to mess with time, space and reality at his will. It's not villainous. Naughty, but it's not villainous. While speaking exclusively to Metro.co.uk, John, who first played Q in 1987, expressed how excited he was to see Whoopi return after the Sister Act star received a personal invitation from Sir Patrick to reprise her role. Guinan, who made her first appearance in 1988 in Star Trek The Next Generation, has had dealings with Q in the past, as the pair appeared to share a fractured history. When asked whether there was a possibility that Picard Season 2 could delve into a continuation of Q and Guinan's story, John refrained from giving too much away, simply answering, "Can I just say yes?" The 73-year-old then explained how bringing Guinan into the tale was like adding a really great ingredient to the pot, resulting in a fun combination. "I think it's like when you're cooking up a meal and you start putting in really great ingredients," he said. "You've got Q and you've got Guinan and you've got Data and stuff like that." Not this season, we haven't. And you just know things are going to pop. It's going to be fun. Or is Data going to... As he let something slip there, is Data going to reappear this season? Even though they allegedly killed him, didn't they, in season 1? Because he was like Data's mind, what in that sort of like the Matrix sort of thing, wasn't there? Anyway, and he asked Picard to kill him, didn't he? And Picard said he did, so maybe he didn't. In the first episode of the new season, Guinan provides Jean-Luc with a much-needed voice of reason, although it remains unclear how much she'll factor into the remaining episodes. If John's words are anything to go by, this isn't the last we've seen of the enigmatic bartender. When John was first approached to return as Q, he outlined how his initial priority was to ensure that they matched the expectations of the fans. "I would like to exceed the expectation, but at least to match it. I just loved coming back. It was great," he said. While Q's return has sparked huge levels of excitement, John emphasised that the true motivations behind the character will remain somewhat of a mystery when asked if audiences will learn more about what makes the extra-dimensional being tick. "I'm not sure if you're going to learn a great deal. You have to understand it's not called the Q show, it's called the Picard show. So I would say, more of a... I move things along. I help to motivate stuff," he said. "In terms of really delving down, do you really explore the continuum? The answer's no." He also detailed how his portrayal of Q has evolved over the past 3 decades, as while the character can still be mad, bad and dangerous, some tweaks have had to be made. Oh, we haven't done yet. I thought we'd done that. "It's a different time with different stakes, obviously performed by 2 actors who are older to begin with, so it would be sort of unseemly if we saw Patrick and me running round as if we were doing it 30 years ago," he shared. Like they tried to make Patrick Stewart doing season 1. They were running about and getting thrown about and all over the place, weren't they? Silly old sod. "I'm hoping that their expectation does not blunt their enjoyment of seeing what is now. This is very story-driven, and also there's a passion in the playing that was perhaps not there because there is more at stake." Picard is available to watch on Amazon Prime Video with new episodes released on Fridays. There we go. Then we'll watch this video then up here. Where are we? Up here. There we go. So I'll press play, but I'll have to mute my microphone or it might do a bit of an echo. So there.
So why are you back, Mr. Hollywood?
Me and the old lady trying to give it another go.
You said you were never going to step a foot in Texas again.
And then the world... What can I say?
I'm
not afraid to fight you. I would 100% out-cardio that guy.
Now you're talking.
The dog's like, "Oh, he's a good man. I can tell by his nice energy."
Possibility that there will be some sort of continuation with their story as well. Is there anything you can say on that topic? I understand if not.
Can I just say yes?
Sure. But how did you feel about her return onto the show as well?
Well, um, I great. I mean, you know, we think of these things, I think, very differently. It's sort of like, you know, when you were cooking up a meal, you know, and you start putting in like really great ingredients. You know, you've got Q and you got Guinan and you got data and stuff like that, and you just know, oh my God, things are going to pop. It's going to be fun. It's going to be
Mm.
fun.
Whatever. Right, sticking with Star Trek. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully it'll be cool because they've met before, haven't they? In the episode, is it Q Who? Q and Guinan had a face off, didn't they? And he was all ready to click, and she was like giving it all that, wasn't she? And he said, "She's an imp. You don't know what she can do." And we know she can make herself look old, if she chooses to. Why would you make yourself look old? You'd want to look young, wouldn't you? Young as the day was new, or whatever Kirk said. Anyway, we'll move on. Right, we'll look at some Star Trek Starships now. Star Trek Online ships made canon by Picard show. 4 starships originally only seen in-game in Star Trek Online, which I've played but I've not got very far in, are now canon in the Star Trek Picard Season 2 premiere episode. I don't know if they're not them, are they? No, I don't think they are. Released back in 2011, Star Trek Online is an online, massively multiplayer online role-playing game developed by Cryptic Studios and based on the Star Trek franchise. And it's actually quite good. For a free game, it's quite good. You can download it on like PS4 and stuff, and Xbox, whatever. The game is set 30 years after the events of Star Trek Nemesis in the TNG storyline. But I think there are add-ons you can download that are set in different times. Excuse me. Oh, crikey. Star Trek Picard Season 2 was finally premiered. Oh, heck. And with it comes the benefits of a new canon for the series. With several new ships now being brought into the canon by the show, Star Trek Online has started its own celebration for fans. In a tweet from the Star Trek Online official Twitter, it was announced that 4 original ships had become canon in the Star Trek Picard Season 2 premiere, and to celebrate there will be a sale on these ships in the game, among other things. A link in the tweet to the Arc Games website cites the ships as the Sutherland, Gagarin, Reliant and Ross Inquiry class. Is that just the Ross or all of them? I don't know. It is. It's not all of them. All original to the Star Trek Online. All ships were present in a shot of many starships in the premiere of Season 2 of Star Trek Picard, in collaboration between the show and the game. The website's post also details the sale in the game to celebrate this. To further expand... We've got to go on here, because we'll have a look at these ships now, and then I'll carry on. So we've got the Sutherland. I don't know if I'm in right order here. That's Ross. We'll go in order, it says there, right, the Sutherland. So, according to Star Trek Online, there we go, Sutherland Advanced Research Vessel, and it's a Nebula-class variant, and I don't know if it's the same Sutherland that were in that Next Generation 2-part that Data took command of. Was it Redemption? I think it was, wasn't it? The one where they set up the tachyon net to stop the Romulans from crossing into Klingon space to interfere with the Klingon Civil War. But I don't know if it's that same one that's had a refit or what, I don't know. But it says it's Nebula class, so maybe it's the same one. It doesn't actually say here. I don't think it actually says here. Let's have a look. I had a quick glance before, but it doesn't say it's the same Sutherland. No, don't say. So there you go. Just tells you its stats, for the game. So it's either a new Sutherland, because it's Sutherland class. So, and the Sutherland was a Nebula class, wasn't it? So that's that one. Wonder what happened to the original Sutherland then. Was it destroyed or just decommissioned? What else was it? The USS Yuri Gagarin. I don't know. This is a normal. This isn't in Star Trek Online. And it all just appeared in a list. There's a big list of starship names there, and it's in there somewhere. But that's in the 2365. So this is that's 30 years before. Over 30 years, 35 years, 36 years before Picard. So I don't know if it's that one or if it's a different one. It doesn't say. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. It just said USS Gagarin. Is it the Gagarin or the Yuri Gagarin? I don't know. The USS Reliant. Is this a new one? Because there was a USS Reliant that it says here. Picard, as an ensign, Picard served on it. There we go. Ensign Picard. Lieutenant Nakamura was assigned to the vessel when he first met Ensign Jean-Luc Picard. So that was way back in the day, wasn't it? And then in 2364, Captain Picard earned a service award for his time aboard the Reliant. This award was stored in Picard's section of the Quantum Archive at the Starfleet Archive Museum. Oh, and that was in season 1 of Picard. So is this a new Reliant, or is it this old Reliant? I don't know. I don't know. Because it don't mention Star Trek Online there either. Anyway, the USS Ross. I'm guessing this is from Star Trek Online, isn't it? I'm guessing. I don't know. This is USS Ross. It's a Ross class starship. It's obviously a Galaxy class variant. Launched in 2381. So is it? Where are we now? So is that the USS Ross? That's the Sutherland. What others? Reliant, and that'll be the Reliant then, and that'll be the Gagarin, won't it? But the Gagarin, I know that were in Discovery, wasn't it? In season 1, it was destroyed, I think, by Klingons. So obviously it's not that one. And then, as I just said, but that was like 100 years ago, over 100 years ago, from their point of view. Then there were the other Yuri Gagarins from the 24th century. Is it that one, or is it a new one? If it's that look quite new, does that look like a 2364-ish starship? Does it? That looks new to me. To you. Sorry, I went all Chuckle Brothers then. There you go. Anyway, and is this named after Admiral? Oh yeah. Oh no, it didn't. Is it named after Admiral Ross? Who was, in the Dominion War. Does it say that? It doesn't say, does it? It doesn't say if it were named after him. It just says it was a pet project of Admiral Norlis Ree, whoever that was. I think this is from... is it from Star Trek Online? Is that where it's from? I don't know. Might be from a book. Anyway, so there you go. So, but it says it must be that one, because so it must be. And all these are from Star Trek Online. Anyway, so where we go. Further expanding the canon of Star Trek is a huge undertaking and definitely something worth celebrating. The franchise has such deep lore that continues in each series and beyond in the novels and graphic novels. Having original ships from the most notable Star Trek game out there is groundbreaking in acknowledging the legitimacy of at least a few parts of the MMORPG. As a real piece of the Star Trek lore, Star Trek Online has been known as a pretty accessible MMO for newcomers and seasoned players alike, with this news possibly bringing more new players to the game. Oh, that's just the tweet. So is this? No, because that's different, isn't it? That's I don't know. For fans, this is humbling to see two parts of a well-loved franchise coming together to deepen the television lore of the Star Trek franchise. The whole idea of Star Trek is about coming together in a brighter future where everyone lives to help one another, and this news is no different. The idea of the staff from both the Star Trek Picard television show and the Star Trek Online game coming together to make this happen can only be a sign of more good things to come in the future for the game, and hopefully for the series. Star Trek Picard has been panned in the past for not being fully faithful to Picard as a character, often seeming like the people behind the show hadn't even seen the original Star Trek Next Generation series. With that opinion in mind, this move could be one from the showrunners trying to bring in the STO fanbase, Star Trek Online fanbase, have more eyes watching the show. That being said, Star Trek has always strived to make an impact, and this collaboration is no different. Star Trek Online is available on Mac, PC, PS4 and Xbox One. For free! You don't have to pay for it. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but you can get it for free. And I suppose there's in-game purchases. I don't know. So there you go. So a bit of Starships. So there we go. USS Ross class, Galaxy class variant. USS Reliance. Don't know which that one is. I don't know. USS Gagarin. And the Sutherland. Is it the same one that Data commanded? I don't know. Anyway, right. Sciencey news now, sort of. This is a weird one. Russia releases bizarre video. Just click that. Bizarre video of space station breaking apart. What exactly is he suggesting? We're not exactly sure what Russia's space agency head Dmitry Rogozin is threatening the US with, but he certainly seems to be alluding to something. A bizarre new video posted by state-controlled media RIA Novosti showed the International Space Station breaking apart in an artist's rendering after Russian cosmonauts bid adieu. NASA Watch, a space news blog, tweeted the video with some important context earlier today. It's accompanied by some kind of ironic classical singing. Rogozin is clearly threatening the ISS program, the outlet said Saturday. Pardon me, picture below. Oh, this is the tweet. Right, so we'll watch this then. Russian government-controlled RIA Novosti posted a video on Telegram made by Roscosmos where cosmonauts say goodbye to Mark van der Heij on ISS depart, and then the Russian segment detaches from the rest of ISS. Rogozin is clearly threatening the ISS program. Right? So I'll press play so you can see it. I'll have to mute my microphone, I think. Whoops, nearly played it again. Bizarre, innit? Bizarre. It was only weeks ago that Rogozin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, threatened to smash the US with debris from a defunct ISS by detaching the Russian segment, which SpaceX CEO Elon Musk responded to with his company's logo and a promise to keep the huge craft aloft. This time it's not clear if Rogozin is threatening to bring the ISS down into the atmosphere, look like given that video, or just remove the Russian portion and fly solo. Foot sandwich. This is hardly the first time the chief of Roscosmos, which is essentially the Russian equivalent of NASA, has tossed insults and threats NASA's way. Rogozin He's quite the colourful character, having taken it personally when SpaceX ended US reliance on Russian spacecraft to reach the ISS. There's also, that time Russia accidentally spun the ISS around twice. Did. Despite the conflict, though, NASA has tried to keep the relationship stable. The organisation released a statement after Russia's ISS threat back in February, according to ScienceAlert.com. NASA continues working with all our international partners, including the State Space Corporation Roscosmos, for the ongoing safe operations of the International Space Station, the space agency said, according to the industry outlet. Like much of Russia's ongoing and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, there are more questions than answers about Rogozin's threat, and if he's even being serious. Another Twitter user and space expert put it perfectly. I can't wait for Twitter to cut off Russian government accounts, so we won't have to suffer through the trolling from Rogozin and other bots, Alan Boyle, creator of space news outlet Cosmic Log, said online under a NASA Watch tweet. In many respects, an empty threat during a full-scale invasion is as worrying as a real one. So perhaps pulling the plug on Rogozin's accounts really could dampen further escalation. There we go. So, yeah, weird, bizarre. Like so yesterday we had an Israeli television showing, Star Wars clips, not from Star Wars, like a Star Wars fan thing or a viral Star Wars video during a news segment about the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and now we've got them threatening to break up the International Space Station, but either threatening or they just, take it mickey or what. I don't know. We're living in bizarre times, aren't we? The world's gone mad. Anyway, and finally, a bit of happy news, I suppose. This is an on this day thing. I might do this every day. I might think, look and see what's happened on this day in the past. So on this day, March the 6th, 1990, it is March the 6th, isn't it? Yeah. 1990, an SR-71 Blackbird flew from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. in 1 hour, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And there it is. Buck Rogers aeroplane. In 1960, a Blackbird smashed a transcontinental speed record. On March 6th, 1990, SR-71 Blackbird serial number 61-7972, tail number 972, made its final flight from Air Force Flight Test Center Plant 42 in Palmdale, California, to Washington, D.C. to be retired and put on display at the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum. Crikey. During that flight, pilot Lieutenant Colonels Ed Yielding and RSO Reconnaissance Systems Operator Joseph Vida set a speed record. I said Lieutenant Colonel, didn't I? Sorry, Lieutenant Colonel. Set a speed record flying from LA to DC, 2,299.7 statute miles, whatever that is in kilometres, I don't know, in 1 hour, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Averaging, see the next bit, they're doing kilometres. Weird. Averaging 3,418 kilometres per hour, 2,124 miles per hour. The SR-71 took off from Edwards at 04:30am, refuelled offshore from a KC-135, flew back over Edwards and then headed eastward at supersonic speed. At 6:01am, a loud sonic boom rocked Southern California, and local residents, hearing the sonic boom, called police to report the sound of an explosion or earthquake. On the way to its retirement home at the museum, the airplane broke four flight time records. St. Louis to Cincinnati in 8 minutes and 32 seconds, 311 miles at 2,189.9 miles per hour. Kansas City to Washington, D.C. in 25 minutes and 59 seconds, 942 miles at 2,176 miles per hour. And US West Coast to East Coast in 67 minutes and 54 seconds, 2,404 miles at average speed, 2,124.5 miles per hour. Pretty impressive. And they got a certificate, look. The Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird flew for the first time on December 22nd, 1964. Crikey, all them years ago. Tell you, 60s were like a golden age, wasn't it? At Air Force Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. The first aircraft to enter service was delivered to the 4200th, later 9th. Bit easy to remember, isn't it? Strategic Reconnaissance Wing at Beale Air Force Base, California, in January 1966. Throughout its career, that came to an end on October 9, 1999. No SR-71 was reportedly lost nor damaged due to hostile actions. The SR-71 flew above Mach 3 at 85,000 feet, with a reported top speed of Mach 3.4 during flight testing and Mach 3.5 during an operational sortie while evading a missile over Libya. The last flight of an SR-71 took place on October 9th, 1999 during the Edwards Air Force Base Open House Air Show. 14 years later, in 2013, Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, the legendary division that designed airplanes which represented a giant leap for their time, such as the F-104, the U-2, the Blackbird family, or the F-117A stealth fighter jet, revealed the existence of a sort of SR-71 replacement, a hypersonic intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance ISR, and strike aircraft dubbed SR-72, designed for Mach 6. And there's a model, there we go, SR-72 for Mach 6, like Firefox. Love that film. So there you go, it's very interesting. The Blackbird's an amazing plane. I once saw a thing though, I say I'm not an expert on these things, but if they refuel it on ground, they have to get it up and flying as quickly as possible because everything leaks. It leaks like a sieve, but then it gets up and everything heats up and expands, and all the seals all, come together, and then it stops leaking then. But until then, it leaks like a sieve. Wasting fuel. Bonkers. But cool. So there you go. Anyway, so that's it. That's all the news. Right, so we'll get rid of that window. Ba-dum. I'll make myself big again. Not that you want to see my ugly mug. I said that every day. Right, so. Whew, cracky. I've had a right day today. I'm not with it today. I'm not with it at all. I don't know what's up with me. Anyway, so we'll leave it there. And wherever you are in the world, particularly in areas where, you're not having the best of times, look after each other and try and stay safe. And until tomorrow, fingers crossed, I'll see thee.